Love coaches. I played sports. I am athletically minded. I enjoyed my days in sports. I had a lot of coaches I really looked up to. But I had two types of history teachers. One of them was the name of Oslo Posteski. He was an Auschwitz survivor, still had the tattoos on his arm. Let me tell you, when you sit down and you took history from him, when you got through at the end of the year, you knew the history of World War II. You knew what happened, where it happened, when it happened. When I turned around and I took American history under one of my favorite coaches, you know what I knew? I knew how to write defensive plays for basketball. My grade came from me sitting down and writing plays for him. And if we don't learn history, we're going to repeat it. Don't believe it. Just look at us. Our country today is doing exactly what Hitler did in 1931. Now, go past Hitler. You look at our country today, and our country is doing exactly what the country of Rome, the Empire of Rome did when it fell in 400 AD. Completely imploded. He says you're falling into their trap. You're allowing those around you to be the ones that teach you. Their land is full, verse 7, of silver, gold, neither is there any end of their treasure. Their land is full of horses, neither is there any end of their chariots. Whoa, what did he just say? What was the thing that Israel was not to do? Let's just hold your finger here. Go back to Deuteronomy chapter 17. We need to bring in some history here. Deuteronomy 17. Come here. I'm almost there. Where are we at? In Deuteronomy chapter 17, now this is Moses. The book of Deuteronomy is a book of 3 sermons that Moses delivers right before he dies. And he's wanting Israel to have all the knowledge that they need to be safe while Joshua learns how to hold the reins on this nation. And in doing so, God speaking through him, verse 15 of Deuteronomy 17, thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God has chosen. So what is the topic? How to set a king. See, God already knew that they were going to reject him, and that there was a day coming, 1 Samuel, when they would no longer want him as king, but they would want another king to be like the world around. God here says, okay, when that happens, then God shall choose one from all thy brethren, shalt thou set a king over thee. Thou may not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. Now, let me ask you a question. In the 1st century, in AD 30, was Herod a Jew? No. Edomite. He had come up through the time of the Maccabees during those 400 years. He was an Edomite, king of Israel. Or Judah, I guess would be the proper term there. But anyway, see, God's already warned him. He said, don't allow this to happen. Then he continues, verse 16, but he shall not multiply horses to himself, nor cause the people to return to Egypt to the end of that he should multiply horses. For as much as the Lord has said unto you, ye shall henceforth return no more that way. Neither shall he multiply wives to himself, that his heart turn not away. Neither shall he greatly multiply to himself silver and gold. The 3 things, well actually I guess 4 if you put chariots on their own, that Israel was not, especially their kings, were not to bring to themselves was horses, chariots, wives of foreign countries, and silver and gold. He says, you don't need it, you got me. So don't do it. First thing Solomon did, he started marrying wives. Then he started building. Solomon had some of the greatest chariot cities. Now, you notice I said cities. He had whole cities that were nothing but his stables for his chariots and horses. Where does he get his horses? Egypt. The greatest horses in the world ever produced came out of Egypt. That same country that God destroyed their chariots got in that Red Sea. He says, don't heap to yourselves horses. Don't heap to yourselves chariots. Do not heap to yourselves wives and forget about that silver and gold. Do not do that. Solomon got all four. Here, as he sets in, he says, these people have taught you to do just what I told you not to do. You see what they've heaped together here? Horses, chariots, gold, the daughters of the people. This is one of those times when God says, told you so. Told you. I told you that if you did this, they were going to change your heart. That your heart was going to leave me and it was going to enter to another. Here, God said, told you so. Now I've got to stop there for a minute. But don't let God ever look at us and say, I told you so. See, now we're back to where we were when we started this lesson. If our reflectors were broke, and that song, verse 30 of that song is true, and the darkness of this world has hid the glory of God, we need to be ashamed. We need to find out just exactly when and where and how our reflector got broke and fix it. And that's not something that I can look at you and say, this is where it is. This is something that Mike has to look at Mike and say, okay, I know exactly what I did. I know exactly where I departed from God. And because of my actions, because of my life, I have allowed my world, the darkness, to take over. You see, my world is different from yours. Just like your world is different from mine. That means that I have to do whatever I have to do. That's double negative. In order for me to get myself right back on God. See, y'all grabbed y'all psalm books and started putting on coats way too early. I got steered, and I'm back at verse 1. Don't ever do that. That just drives the preacher mad when people do that. And yet, when we look at what God is telling them, He says, compare yourself to the truth. Compare yourself to the idea of Jerusalem. And look at the pigsty you're living in. And ask yourself, where do you want to be? For those that have never obeyed the gospel, I guarantee you, you've never seen the glory. You don't know what God is capable of. Until you can believe that He is the Christ, the Son of God, until you are willing to confess Him before men, that alone. That alone. To be able to stand up and acknowledge the Savior of my life. Blessings untold. And you see it on people when they respond to the gospel. You see it when they are willing to go down into the waters of baptism and come up. And you see the expressions on their face. But somewhere down the road, it is the curse of man that we forget. lukewarm. Some become worse than lukewarm. Some of us become downright sick. Some even die. Because we weren't willing to compare ourselves time and again to the real Jerusalem. But make no mistake, we have a God that loves us. He loves us so much that He gave His Son for us. And for those who have not been baptized, He beckons through His Son, through blood-stained hands, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart." For those that have already, we find ourselves erring, we have a shepherd who is looking for us desperately. He's left the 99 in the hands of assistant shepherds. And He Himself is walking around searching, calling to any who would respond. What are your needs this evening? Whatever they are, will you come?
All to Jesus I surrender, all to Him I freely give. I will ever love and trust Him, in His presence daily live. I surrender all. I surrender all to Thee, my blessed Savior. I surrender all to Jesus. I surrender humbly at His feet I bow. Worldly pleasures all forsaken, take me, Jesus, take me now. I surrender all. I surrender all to Thee, my blessed Savior. I surrender all to Jesus. I surrender, Lord, I give myself to Thee. Fill me with Thy love and power. Let Thy blessings fall on me. I surrender all. I surrender all to Thee, my blessed Savior. I surrender all.
Song before the closing prayer will be 95. Number 95. If there's anyone here tonight that has not taken a communion, if we go to the class in the back, we'll be helping those needs. Earth holds no treasures but perish with using. How